Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Tonight at 10, more than 100 missing children rescued over the last 2 weeks. An inside look into the investigation to find them.
And now at 10 tonight.
Please stop!
New body cam footage tonight showing the moment Orlando police opened fire at a tattoo shop. This all happened while Orlando police were executing a search warrant. 20-year-old Caleb Williams was found dead inside that shop.
Now police are saying Williams was, quote, associated with the search warrant. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti is digging into the details.
We had been showing you video from the vantage point of a nearby business depicting those critical moments when Orlando police officers opened fire outside the back of this tattoo shop. Now we have new video obtained from Orlando police that shows the perspective of 2 Orlando police officers.
Stop!
In the body camera footage, you can see a man who appears to be holding a weapon. Police say it was an AK-47 style rifle, opening a door before retreating back inside. Police say this was a, quote, registered gang member who was not associated with the search warrant that was aimed at recovering drugs and guns.
Let me see it!
They also say they gave commands for the man to put up his hands and stop. They say the man did not comply, so they started shooting. This video, which was released and captioned by Orlando police, also points to someone behind the man. They say this person was a, quote, second armed suspect, yet we cannot clearly see a weapon ourselves. OPD says the man with the AK-47 was not hurt, but we know Caleb Williams was found dead inside the shop an hour later. In this latest release of information, police do not identify Williams as that second armed suspect, but they say Williams was standing near that rear door when officers opened fire, and they say they found a stolen gun on him. Now, backing up a couple months, police say this was a drug investigation that started in September. Officers had been surveilling the tattoo shop for the past 2 months, while also monitoring social media accounts. Videos from inside, they say, showed guns and drugs on full display. Back here outside the tattoo shop, you can see a memorial growing for 20-year-old Caleb Williams. Williams' mother, Natalie, had told reporters that her son did nothing wrong. She was demanding answers. Now it appears we're starting to get more answers from Orlando police, who, in a release to the media, say they identified 9 people associated with drug sales at the shop, including Caleb Williams. Police say charges are pending for 3 of the people inside, in addition to the person who was not associated with the search warrant, the one who police say was a registered gang member holding an AK-47. We'd be remiss if we did not mention that the FDLE is investigating this officer-involved shooting. Once that part of the investigation is complete, it'll be turned over to the state attorney's office. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
In breaking news tonight, we are learning remains found in Marion County last month have now been identified as a woman visiting from the United Kingdom, and a man has now been arrested in her death. According to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, they received information from Interpol that Sonia Exoby was visiting Florida from the UK and missed her flight back in October. A few days later, the Marion County Sheriff's Office found remains near Ocala. Last week, the Marion County Sheriff's Office and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement arrested this man, Dwayne Hall. According to reports, Hall confessed to picking Exoby up from the airport and said the two stayed together. He also told police Exoby told him she was suicidal and wanted someone to kill her. When police asked him what his message was to her family, he said that she was happy now. He was arrested for kidnapping, first-degree murder, and using her credit cards. And more breaking news tonight, a small plane crash in Brevard County. This is a look at the crash. You can see the plane nose first into the ground there. This happened in Palm Bay off Grant Road and blocked traffic for a few hours tonight. No one was hurt, and the road is now back open.
Developing tonight, city leaders taking a big step toward building the permanent Pulse nightclub shooting memorial. Today, leaders announced next month they'll be recovering artifacts from the nightclub. That includes posters, chandeliers, and other items from the building there. The city will also be removing the Pulse sign from outside the club. All the artifacts will be stored in a warehouse to later be added to the memorial, which is set to be completed at the end of 2027.
Tonight, more than 100 children missing across Florida are beginning the road to recovery after being rescued by federal and state law enforcement. That included a handful right here in Central Florida. The U.S. Marshals invited Aaron Avianer from her sister station, WJXT, to join the task force and document the operation.
Deputy U.S. Marshal Ricky Tippie is accustomed to tracking down and apprehending dangerous adult fugitives. But during Operation Home for the Holidays, he and other marshals, along with help from various national and local agencies, are on a mission to locate a long list of juveniles reported missing. Tippie knows some of the kids on the list could be victims of human trafficking.
Do take it a little personal. Want to find the kid and get them to where they're supposed to be.
This teenager was one of the people on the list of missing juveniles. According to the marshals, she's not only a runaway suspected of being a victim of human trafficking, but she's also wanted by the juvenile justice system after ditching her GPS ankle monitor.
So the minor's been missing for several months, suspected of possible human trafficking, drug use, unstable environment, unstable past, and she was taken from the place where she thought she was safe right now, but running around with drugs and guns possibly.
Locating her took an entire day of going from one location to another and even staking out a home she was believed to have been staying. On our second day of the operation, we ended up at this apartment.
Law enforcement will be bringing out more than one team. We believe it's just going to be two, one of which is going to go to juvenile detention because she has a warrant. Another team will be going to the hospital for evaluation.
Both teens were let out of the apartment. The one in handcuffs is 14 years old. Investigators say she not only ditched her juvenile justice ankle monitor, but is suspected of being a recruiter for human trafficking. She was taken to the juvenile detention center. The other girl who was let out of the same apartment is 13 years old. She ran away from home. She was taken to Wolfson Children's Hospital, where various child advocacy organizations, including DCF, had a makeshift control center set up.
It's beyond this door here at Wolfson Children's Hospital that the children who are recovered receive all the services they need. Services such as a warm meal, a shower, maybe someone to talk to, a mental evaluation, and even a physical evaluation.
During the search for a girl reported missing from DCF, a cell phone ping led us to this West Side motel. We would later find out her parents live here, but don't have legal custody of her. On top of that, investigators are suspicious of what's inside the room and removed the girl from what has been deemed a questionable situation. We were asked not to record video of her removal, given the sensitive nature of the situation.
Dad said she's also said something about going to Puerto Rico.
As for Deputy Marshal Tippie, he just hopes the kids they recover understand that although they made mistakes,
You want them to get the help that they need, and hopefully they can pull out of it and they don't keep chasing those bad decisions after this.
In Lake County tonight, we're getting a look at a crazy
Oh!
Here it is from Lake County as we take a look at this wild DUI arrest. Officers actually had to cut off a driver heading the wrong way down U.S. Highway 441. Police arrested Christopher Johnson late last Wednesday night, and he was very direct with officers.
We do believe you're impaired. I'm going to be taking you into custody for DUI. You understand? When we get down to the jail, you're going to give me a breath sample.
I already know I'm going to fail.
Okay, so according to police, Johnson was driving with a blood alcohol level nearly 3 times the legal limit. Well, it's been a story we've been following since the very beginning.
Yeah, a Florida State football player from Sanford shot in a case of mistaken identity. Tonight, he is back home surrounded by supporters and a lot of signs. How he's turning tragedy into strength. Jonathan.
Passing thin clouds out there, could have some fog develop tonight across parts of Central Florida. We'll pinpoint who has the best chance to see that fog coming up on the other side of this break.
It has been nearly 2 months since Kevin Rodriguez Zavala died after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster out at Epic Universe. And there are still a lot of questions about what happened.
Yeah, like how could this happen and what's next? News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is fighting to get answers.
On the night of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's death, state and local investigators descended on Epic Universe here. But there has been very little transparency about what those investigators have been doing these past 2 months.
Orange County Fire Rescue is on scene, CPR in progress.
Paramedics found Kevin Rodriguez Zavala unresponsive on the Stardust Racers roller coaster in September. The 32-year-old, who was born with spinal atrophy and used a wheelchair, later died. I've now learned that Florida's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services sent 3 state inspectors to Epic Universe. Those inspectors spent a combined total of 21 hours at the theme park over 4 days. Now keep in mind, that state agency only regulates rides at fairs and small amusement parks. Large theme parks like Universal and Disney are exempt from state oversight. After I pressed the state agency about why it sent an investigator here, a spokesman told me, quote, Universal voluntarily invited FDACS to observe all testing and inspections. Their actions exceeded state requirements. But what state requirements? Well, I received no answers to that question. So I submitted a public record request to the agency. I asked for all of the investigators' documents, notes, photos, videos, and emails. Weeks later, the state got back to me saying it had, quote, no responsive records. In other words, there are apparently no reports, notes, photos, videos, or emails related to the state investigators' work here at Epic Universe. Without such documentation, it remains unclear why those state inspectors agreed with Universal's findings that the ride systems functioned as intended.
It was called in as a head laceration, heavy bleeding.
Across town, the medical examiner determined Rodriguez Zavala died accidentally from multiple blunt impact injuries. But the medical examiner's office has not publicly released the autopsy report. That's because the Orange County Sheriff has asked them to withhold it. I've repeatedly requested public records from the sheriff's office here about Rodriguez Zavala's death, and the sheriff has repeatedly denied giving them to me, saying they involve, quote, active criminal investigative information. Under Florida law, criminal investigative information is considered active as long as there is a reasonable, good faith anticipation of securing an arrest or prosecution in the foreseeable future. So I asked the Orange County Sheriff's Office if they anticipate making an arrest over Rodriguez Zavala's death. The agency has not answered that question. Mike DeForest, News 6.
All right, it is time now for a look at our glorious forecast. It is
Very
so
nice.
it's so
Awesome.
nice out there, Jonathan. If only we could keep this going for a while, say like to Thanksgiving.
Maybe that could be the case. Maybe if you like it a little bit warmer, that can do that for you. 'Cause that's what it looks like. I think we're going to gradually warm things up just a little bit getting into Thanksgiving, but we're basically going to keep this same weather as we're locked in the same pattern through at least the next 10 days, maybe 11 or 12, and then we have some changes coming through. That's a live look, Port Canaveral, Brevard County with our Launch Credit Union camera this evening. Air temperatures dipping into the upper 50s. It is super comfortable out there. That's a live look again in Brevard County, Port Canaveral. You can stay up to date with the forecast by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You get all the bells and whistles that we use to track the weather, including some of the fog out there. Again, you see every time it pegs yellow, that's the satellite differentiating between the cloud cover that's out there and then some of that low-level fog trying to develop. You saw a little flare up there closer to I-75 in and around Lakeland. Right now, it's just that gray film on your screen for the most part, indicating that mid to high-level cloud cover that continues to stream in as we saw early this afternoon. In terms of the fog, I don't think it's going to be too terribly thick, but where you see visibility is down into the 3 to 4 mile range, that's what we're likely going to be dealing with some patchy fog through the morning commute tomorrow. I think that gradually burns off, and then we see a lot of sunshine again mixed with some of that higher thin cloud cover that we saw again today. We're at 56 in Denell and Ocala. Good evening. We are at 59, 66 degrees in Orlando. Temperatures back to the upper 50s for us when you wake up in Mount Dora. We're back to 60 in Kissimmee, Palm Bay. Good evening. We are at 60 degrees as well. Clouds and rain forecast. There's not going to be much rain, if any, over the next 10 to 12 days. There's 4 or 5 o'clock on your Tuesday morning tomorrow. There's some of that fog trying to get on out of here. That will burn off and then give way to a lot of sunshine, which will warm our temperatures back up into the lower 80s. So there's 7 o'clock, and that's some of the higher thin cloud cover that I was just talking about, trying to stream back in from the west. That's really all I have for you in terms of any kind of difference in the weather pattern over the next couple of days. Is just a few higher thin clouds coming through. High temperatures tomorrow back to the lower 80s inland, more like the upper 70s along the coast. That icon you see right there, that is the fog differentiator. So I think tomorrow again we are going to watch some patchy fog. That's going to get out of here though, as we have that high pressure helping to warm us back up. It's all because of this chunk of high pressure about 15 to 20,000 feet above our head. What this does is it helps to block things up back upstream a little bit. So we're going to be watching kind of all the weather systems be deflected to our north and west. That's what's going to help to keep us on the drier side. And then it's also going to help to warm us up, and that pattern likely going to hold through at least Thanksgiving, which is, of course, next Thursday, 10 days away. I think for the most part, most of us wake up around 60 degrees or in the low 60s. And then by the afternoon, we get back into the low to mid 80s. So it should be a pretty warm Thanksgiving. And I think it's going to be a dry Thanksgiving. It's certainly going to be a dry 7-day forecast. That what you see there, again, that's the fog in the morning. And that will give way to a mainly sunny sky. Air temperatures back to the low to mid 80s over the next few days. We're staying at 83 on Friday, back to the low 80s over the weekend. 82 degrees next Monday, guys.
Sold.
Oh, take it. Jonathan, thank you. Hey, News 6 is once again partnering with BFAR Contracting for the Salvation Army's Angel Tree campaign this year. It's our goal to bring Christmas to 5,000 kids and 1,000 seniors.
And we are on our way there, believe it or not. Today, we are happy to report that nearly 800 angels have already been adopted, but there are still more than 5,000 out there who need your help. They're counting on you. And if you're willing and able to help, you can take out your phone right now, scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you to clickorlando.com/angeltree. We posted information there on how to adopt an angel, either in person or online. It'll make you feel good, too.
It will. Coming up, a local college football player comes home after being shot, and even though the road to recovery is long, he is not doing it alone. We'll catch up with Ethan Pritchard after the break.
an absolute miracle. That is what family, friends, this community is saying about Ethan Pritchard, the linebacker from FSU that was shot months ago. A lot of people are happy to see him now making his way back to his Sanford home, surrounded by everyone that loves him. Ethan Pritchard coming home to a hero's welcome Sunday afternoon.
They told me I was getting an escort, but I ain't expected to be like this, though.
Dozens cheering, holding signs, and wearing his signature Seminole High #9 jersey.
It's a miracle, and Sanford is really supporting him. The football team, the students, the parents, everybody in Sanford. It's great to see all these people out here.
The FSU freshman linebacker was shot in the back of the head on August 31st while dropping off his family members in an apartment near Tallahassee. FDLE says it was a case of mistaken identity.
I just say that really motivated me to go harder every day. Just seeing like everybody wearing my jersey back home, yeah, that really motivated me.
After months in the hospital, video shared Thursday by Brooks Rehabilitation in Jacksonville shows Pritchard smiling as he made his way out of the facility surrounded by supporters.
It brought tears to my eyes, actually. It was amazing to see him do that and the support of all of the staff at the hospital and just seeing him get out of there.
His former high school teammate Omari Griffin, who currently wears #9, says that he's overjoyed Pritchard is alive and back home.
I just want to support him through everything because I've been with him since the longest.
Once I get my legs back working, it's over with.
Pritchard says the community's support gave him the strength that he needed to survive.
I was always giving out happiness, loveness, and everything, so it ain't no surprise to me that I'm getting that back from my city.
Now, since he's back home, he'll begin rehab 5 days a week starting on Monday.
Y'all definitely see me walking before next March.
Wow.
In Sanford, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It is free to download to that smart TV or streaming device. Have yourself a great night. We'll see you at 11.
Bye.